The Associated Press called the Alabama Senate race for Doug Jones at 9:23 p.m. local time, as the Democrat bested Republican Roy Moore, an accused pedophile. For Jones, just having a D next to his name meant an extremely steep climb in a state that hadn't voted for a Democratic senator in 31 years, and that man, Senator Richard Shelby, later changed his affiliation to Republican. But Jones was buoyed by a mix of grit and chance, campaigning rapidly through the end, while Moore traveled out of state, haunted by accusations that he had pursued and molested teenagers while he was a man in his 30s. The election had become bigger than these two men, with President Trump's name, and also that of his former chief strategist Steve Bannon, also attached to Moore's name on the ballot. On the Democratic side, former President Obama, Vice President Joe Biden and potential 2020 candidate Senator Cory Booker, of New Jersey, had chimed in. For most of the night, Moore held a comfortable lead in the deeply Republican state. At his Montgomery, Alabama, election night party, campaign staff flashed a giant version of the New York Times vote-tracking website onto a large screen, as audience's members would occasionally scream. "The numbers are only going to get higher for Judge Roy Moore," said a spokeswoman for Moore, Janet Porter, who was addressing the crowd at the Montgomery, Alabama event shortly before 8 p.m., an hour after the polls closed. Lurking below, however, were ominous signs that an upset, or a recount, could be on the horizon, with the New York Times live estimate predicting a Jones win for most of the night. "We're not calling this race," longtime Moore supporter Rich Hobson announced to the room as Jones's name was lit up blue on the giant version of the Times. He then asked the audience to pray. Reactions from around the political universe came swiftly and were brutal to Bannon, who establishment Republicans cast as an interloper who cost them a Senate seat, making the map more challenging next year. A Republican strategist told DailyMail.com that Tuesday night will be Steve Bannon's political epitaph. "There's no way to see this other than a huge defeat for the GOP, and it's mostly because Bannon bamboozled the president with his Svengali pocket watch," the veteran of more than 20 congressional elections said. "Mitch McConnell will take some lumps," he added, "but this was all Bannon's doing." And political